What's happening, guys? Okay, so another auction house gold making guide. Uh, Before we get started, please, if you get a chance, subscribe to the channel. I got a bunch of gold making videos I'm going to be putting out over the next days, weeks, and months. Uh, just a warning up front, this method did require gold up front. But it's just an example of how you can make money using the auction house without ever leaving town or farming mats if that's what you want to do. So what I did in this example is I started off buying 5,000 gold in elementium ore. And what you see me doing right now is I am prospecting all of that ore into gems so we can move on to the next step in the process. Once that is all prospected, the next thing I did was I went ahead and I created a fire prism out of some of the basic gems just to hopefully pick up some gold in blue gems. And in this case, I got lucky and I did get an Inferno Ruby and a couple others. Now we move on over to the auction house where first I cut all of my red blue gems into Brilliant Inferno Rubies. I just like doing it simply because they sell really well. I'm going to list all of those along with all of my carnelians and any other blue grade gems that I got from prospecting um, into the auction house. Uh, Total gold there was 3,800 gold. The next step in the process was to head over to the jewel crafting supply, bought a bunch of jewel crafting settings, and made as many nightstone chokers and alicite pendants as I could with the green gems that I got from prospecting. As you can see, I filled my bag up completely with those. Now I could um, sell the blue quality ones in the auction house, but I just find with the neck pieces, they don't do as well. And they tend to stay up on the auction house forever. And quite honestly, the enchanting mats I get from them are perfectly fine as far as the gold that I make from those. Once I'm done making all of these, I'm going to go ahead and mail those over to my priest, who's a tailor slash enchanter. Um, and we're going to disenchant uh, all of those to make a few other things and sell some things in the auction house. Once I got those out of my bags, I went ahead and started making as many Hessonite bands and Jasper rings as I could, again with the green quality gems that I got from the prospecting of the elementium ore. Now, unlike the neck pieces, the blue quality rings that I get from making these, I will go ahead and put in the auction house because rings tend to be a bit of a harder item. These ones are a nice eye level for people who are leveling up or who just at 85 and are trying to meet the eye level requirement to run dungeons or heroic dungeons. So I'm mailing all of the green quality rings over to again my tailor slash enchanter, and I'll show you what we did with all of that stuff on that character once we finish here. So I've just got to make the Jasper bands. And again, this whole process took about an hour. And once you get familiar with these ways of making gold, it can get faster and faster. I mean, honestly, the vast majority of the time is prospecting, crafting, and disenchanting. And you can't really, there's no real way to speed that up other than if you watch my prospecting and my disenchanting using the Trade Skill Master TSM to prospect and disenchant is way faster. So we got all that done. We got the green quality sent over, and now we are going to list up the blue quality rings. I didn't get a ton of them, but they sell pretty well. So we get, I did have some gems left over that I didn't use. We did also list those up. So between the gems that were left over, and now we're going to post up the blue quality rings. Like I said, they don't sell for a ton, but they sell for a much better price than the disenchant value. So it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to disenchant those, at least post them up on the auction house a couple of times and see if we can get some sales. Okay, so once we get those posted up, we're going to go ahead and get the rest of the green quality rings sent over to my tailor, and we'll switch to that tune. Uh, those rings represented about 1,400 gold in auctions. So now we are on my priest, who's a tailor slash enchanter, and we are going to disenchant all of those items. As you can see, I'm using Trade Skill Master. If you have not downloaded and are using Trade Skill Master, it is probably the most efficient add-on for making gold in the auction house, working professions, even your mailbox. But we're going to go ahead and get all this done. And I could easily just get this disenchanted and post up all the enchanting mats and probably do fairly well. But there's one other step that's going to give me, it's going to probably add, well, I know it will, it's going to add about another 1,000 gold um, to my total profit in this whole process. So we're going to get this all done. And I know there's some of you that are watching this video, they're saying that you don't even have the gold to even try to do this. And I understand that, but if you subscribe to my channel and watch some of the other videos, there's plenty of other ways that you can get the gold to be able to start doing stuff like this. Simple things like do your Tol Barad dailies and daily quests every day. Um, do some low level dungeon runs that take very little time and post that stuff up in the auction house. So yes, this is, you've got to work your way to this point, but there's plenty of ways to get there. So once we're done disenchanting all of this stuff, we are now going to go to the auction house, and I'm going to buy 1,575 ember silk cloth that we are going to craft into bolts of ember silk. And the reason we're doing this is because we've got all this hypnotic dust, and rather than just sell the hypnotic dust, which sells fairly cheap, we're going to go ahead and craft the ember silk cloth into bolts, and then we're going to use the bolts and the hypnotic dust, and we are going to make 21 ember silk bags. Uh, so I spent about 3,000 gold on ember silk cloth, which is going to get me, like I said, 21 ember silk bags. And on my server, that's going to make me probably about 4,500 gold current value. So about a 1,500 gold profit. So it makes sense to spend the money on the Ember Silk cloth. All right, so we got all of our bolts of Ember Silk crafted up. We are now making the 21 Ember Silk bags. And the cool thing about this whole process is everything that I'm putting up is going to sell relatively quickly in the auction house. So we sent over the Ember Silk bags and all of the enchanting mats that we didn't use, the Greater Celestial Essence and the Heavenly Shards. We had a bolt of Ember Silk and 3 pieces of cloth. Go ahead and get that listed up as well. And all total, when that was all posted up, was about 6,100 gold in auctions, and we have now completed the process. So let's take a look at how we did. So our gold spent was 5,000 on Elementium ore, 3,000 on Ember Silk cloth, and 300 on jeweler settings. I did overspend on those, but I'll use them for something anyway. My total cost was 8,300 gold. Auctions listed from the process was 3,800 in crafted slash uncut gems, 1,400 in the leftover gems after I crafted the necks and rings, plus the blue quality rings, 6,100 gold in Ember Silk bags and enchanting mats, for a total listing of 11,300 gold, leaving us a profit with 3,000 gold, and the whole thing from start to finish took us about an hour. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, the support and the subscriptions, likes, and shares. My channel's relatively new, but I got a bunch of content coming. If you get a chance, please subscribe to the channel, like and share my videos. It really helps me out, gives me an opportunity to create and put even more content up for you guys to watch. I am putting some polls up to get an idea of what kind of videos people would like to see, as well as what you guys are playing in the game. Until next time, peace.